Hello and welcome back to Tales from the Age of Men, and we're once again returning to Stoberg because, I mean, come on, we've got to take some revenge against them for being so resilient last time. Well, I mean, I guess we should probably be a little bit fairer to ourselves right there, because obviously we didn't really go into the siege, as it were, I guess, kind of. I mean, anyway. Interference from external forces, notwithstanding, that obviously did put a little bit of a wrench in the works, shall we say. So yeah, not exactly great. Anyway, hopefully with the walls down and the garrison starved out, it took 9 days to starve them out, by the way. Not really that bad, but I would definitely say that I would prefer if it was a little bit lower, but obviously, that's just how it is. They do have a lot of food. And, whoa, okay. Very interesting. Oh, sorry, Warg. I did not mean to hit that. I did not mean to hit our mount. Not at all. Yes, that was a bad idea, wasn't it? Yes. That was an absolutely terrible idea. But, I mean, we're not going to use it, and it's going to be magically restored after the battle. So, yeah, we shouldn't have to worry about it too much. Okay, so, wait a minute. Let me actually just try to kill these guys as best as I can. It's actually quite funny. We've apparently caused them to come outside here. Surprisingly, I don't know how we managed to manipulate them into doing that, but they are. It's actually significant, doing very, very well here. And indeed, we're through. Yeah, we're through really, really nicely here. And I'm not even using my other sword. Technically, I could use my other sword and probably do a little bit better here, but I am actually attempting to utilize the range of our axe here, just a little bit more here. Maybe that's going to provide us with some bigger advantages. And we might be even... Yes, we're through. Oh, very nice. Okay, that's exactly what I was talking about. Very, very good. Okay, obviously these guys are going to be shielding up a huge amount. Very, very annoying, actually, to have that. But that's okay, because we are through, and that is all we needed. That is basically game over for the opponent now. Should be pretty easy for us to achieve victory from this point onward. And we haven't taken any damage. We've basically taken no damage whatsoever. And I'm very surprised about that. I guess it is, as I said before, it's all to do with the layout. The layout has such a significant impact on how we are personally going to perform. It doesn't really matter too much about, the enemy so much. It is very much about the layout. If they have a lot of archers and they are able to get clear lines of sight on our people, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to make any kind of headway. But look at this. Look at what we've been able to do here. Pretty crazy stuff. And we are now pretty much done. Yeah, as you can see right there, super, super nice and easy. And that is a game over for them here. Wow, okay. That actually went a lot better than anticipated. I thought we were going to have many, many more problems, but no, apparently not. Wow, we had so few problems that we literally only took 4 casualties. I guess that just goes to show sometimes the enemy is just not on their best game, as it were, and they're just getting themselves completely destroyed. Very, very surprising, I have to admit. I thought that they were going to be very, very difficult here. Okay, so 622 prisoners for us. Very, very nice. We also have 22,000 experience. There's also Standard of Wrath. I'm actually going to be taking that so that we can increase our melee damage done. I'm not going to be, donating anything here because I'd like to actually sell some stuff. I feel like my money situation is kind of going down a little bit too much, and I would like to try to prevent that from happening, at least, in the long run. So let's actually just sell all of these. Sell all of these that we can. Gonna get basically no roguery skill because I obviously don't have any focus points in it or anything like that. And for me personally, I don't think we really need a roguery skill. It is obviously fantastic to have it, and generally it is one of the more underrated perks in my opinion. I mean, I don't know, maybe a lot of people use it, I don't know. But for me personally, I feel like it is underrated. And otherwise, we are just going to be slapping a little bit of money in here. Obviously, I'm not going to be taking control of Stoberg, I don't think. I'm probably going to be giving it to someone else. I actually don't know who to give it to, but I suppose we'll see shortly what's going to happen with that. Obviously, we do want to try and take some of the inner territories, and that's what we're going to do now. Okay, some pretty weird stuff has been going on here at Edoras. I have not seen any vassals whatsoever from Rohan actually coming over here and attempting to stop us. It's been a bit I don't know, a bit strange, a bit weird, because usually, I mean, there's one right there, but he's only got 28 people. There's no way he's going to be able to do anything against us. And you can see here, the enemy only has 276 in the garrison here. So let's actually make sure that we take advantage of this, because obviously this is one of those times where we have a rare opportunity to take advantage of the AI being kind of weird. I mean, you know, they do tend to be kind of weird most of the time, generally anyway, but there are always these moments where actually they're dropping the ball. They're dropping the ball really, really heavily here, and I'm very surprised. I never would have expected them to do so, especially when it comes to such an inner territory for them. This is literally one of those places that they should not be letting go that easily, but they are. It's very weird, very, very weird. And in general, as you can see, loads and loads of shields and defensiveness, and it's very annoying. But yes, we will be able to slaughter them very nicely. Oh, hello there. We have some Urukai Berserkers. Yeah, we actually leveled those up recently as well. Okay, so otherwise, are we done? Was that it? Really? That was an extremely easy way for me to get into the fief itself. Very, very strange, actually, for it to be that simple, but there you go. All right, apparently that is indeed it. Yeah, we basically got nothing else for me to fight here. I kind of wanted to get to, as I said to you before, 275 in athletics would dramatically increase our survivability. Oh, hello. Okay, let's be a little bit careful there, because these guys could technically shoot me in the face and do massive damage. So let's just try to be a bit careful. Obviously, the camera angle's a little bit awkward, but that's okay. We don't have to worry about that too much. As long as we keep the camera a bit lower, we should be fine. I could go first person here, but that does cause a little bit of motion sickness in a lot of people, so not sure if I really want to do that, even though it is more immersive, obviously. It's definitely more immersive. And generally, I haven't really played first person that much. Generally, I even don't really like doing it for ranged attacks, which is kind of strange in itself, because a lot of the time ranged is going to be a lot better in first person, especially when using a bow. But generally, I've found that for me personally, my own accuracy just becomes so much better when I use it in third person. I don't know why. I don't know. So, it depends, I guess. It depends. I suppose sometimes if the elevation is a little bit different, like you're shooting directly down or directly up, that can make a big difference if you play in third or first person in comparison. Okay, wait. Oh, okay, no, those guys are just going to run away. That's absolutely fine. If they choose to run, then that is their choice. And they're just running into an absolute nightmare outside, as you can see. Loads of Uruks just waiting for them. And that's it. That's game over. Wow, yeah, that was extremely simple. Very surprised. Yeah, we're done. 100% there. As you can see, look at that. Okay, so another 56. Look at that. 56 renowned. Very nice indeed. We can also take all of these people prisoner, and we can indeed sell them now as well. I don't think we even had any vassals here. I don't think there are any vassals here. I'm going to take a look and actually see whether there are, but I highly doubt it. I think I looked just beforehand. No, it doesn't seem like there are any vassals here. So this is very strange. Gonna sell all the prisoners. Oh, who's this guy? Alright, this guy's from the Bardings. Okay, I'm not sure if I really want to take him at the moment. Generally, I am looking for additional companions, of course. I am definitely looking for additional companions, but I'm mostly looking for someone that has engineering. Engineering is definitely going to be the way to go here for us right now. But obviously, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Like I said, it's all random. We have no idea what the companions are going to have, and we cannot really find companions that easily. I think most of the time, maybe you can actually... Wait a minute. Let me actually just see something here. Can we actually just search for engineer? There we go. This guy. This guy is an engineer, and he was last seen here. Well, that's obviously very nice. I mean, it's very nice for us to be able to see that. Unfortunately, that is very far. It's over here. Yeah, it's over here, so I'm not sure if we're even going to be able to do that, but yeah, I mean, it's unlikely, I'd say, isn't it? I think that's probably unlikely. Anyway, there we go. We have taken both of these things, and we will now Huh. The question is, what do we want to do? Well, I think we'll probably just put a little bit of money in here, because I am going to be handing this off to one of our vassals in just a second. And I do want them to have a bit of a construction increase. I'm not going to be taking either of these fiefs right now. I'm going to just be focusing on the inner section here, and we're just going to be going to Oldburg in just a second as well. And this is dramatic. Oh, here, hello, there's an army coming. Okay, so there's an army coming right now. Let's actually see whether they have what it takes. Yes, whether they have what it takes to stop us. Let's actually see here. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, no. It seems like we're actually fine. Are they going to start the siege? They don't seem to be wanting to do a siege at all, despite the fact that the walls are indeed down. As you know, the walls are down. I still find it absolutely... I don't know, I think it's a little bit ridiculous that you cannot see the wall HP when you're inside the fief. Like, why can I not see the wall HP? I can see the level of the walls, but I cannot see whether they are being repaired or anything like that. Obviously, generally, you know, if you're the owner of the fief, then, you know, that's obviously going to be hopefully available to you in terms of information. But I think that someone that is allied with that particular fief, I think you should be able to see all that stuff, because information is power, as they say. And in general, if you're kept in the dark about this kind of stuff, it's going to be so sad, because you're just going to then be like, oh yes, well, what do I do now, you know? Because now you have no idea whether your walls are being repaired or anything like that. You have no idea. So anyway, oh no. Okay, this place is looking real harsh. Okay, we're going to have to go in and actually... What is going on with Mr. Faldor? Why does he have... Okay, you know what? I might have to... Sometimes I might have to reinstall my game. Because for some reason, in the last couple of... Yeah, actually, in the last couple of series, every single companion that I've made into a vassal has had insane army growth. And I'm talking about crazy amounts. So much so that... Look at... What? Is that Wolgan? Is it because I gave them fiefs? Is that the reason why they have so many, so much capacity or something like that? I have no idea, but they're running around with 773. I mean, obviously Faldor has less, but Wolgan is literally running around with absolutely unstoppable army right now. Well, I mean, it's obviously not unstoppable because he's apparently not using it to actually do anything useful. I'm actually kind of surprised they're not besieging anything, to be honest. But yeah, as I said, my last couple of series, every companion does seem to have incredible army. Well, not every companion. I mean, it's actually quite funny. Mostly it's always the first couple of companions that I create, and then everyone else after that is not actually that strong at all, and they don't seem to be running around with anything special, so it's kind of a bit weird. It's kind of a bit weird in general. This guy is never going to be catching up to any of these people, though, because he is running around with such a large army. Yeah, well, this is going to be a little bit problematic in itself, because trebuchets, well, we're going to hopefully be able to do what we can with them. But unfortunately, as you see here, we are no doubt... Well, we're going to have a very hard battle on our hands, because 473 enemies in the garrison. Alright, so I'm actually going to go in here, despite the fact that we have a huge garrison. I actually don't think we're going to be able to do this, but I kind of need to make a snap decision here, because you can see my food. My food is dwindling right now. The walls are down. We have destroyed all of the siege. We have our own siege up and running. This is going to give us the best possible chance of us achieving victory here. I should probably... You know what I should do? I should call for an army, shouldn't I? I should have actually called for an army, and then we'd have, you know, 700 and whatever people helping us out. We might even be able to call for both of them to actually help us out. What I'm actually really surprised about, though, is that their clans are not really doing anything. Their clans are kind of just, you know, chilling out, not really doing much at all. It doesn't feel as though they have any additional forces to, you know, add to the pot, as it were. I'm not sure whether they're active or whether they're just kind of chilling back in their fiefs or something like that. Maybe they are, I don't know. But what I do know is that we are going to have a huge, huge problem on our hands here. Let's see if we can even do this. I mean, so far, I feel like we are I feel like this is a pretty decent location. I'm kind of, you know, holding some cover here behind the wall. It's going to make it much, much easier for us to avoid random damage from archers, even though the archers up there can definitely shoot us. But anyone else is going to have a hard time, or at least hopefully. And, well, you can see here that we're actually getting quite a few kills. I wouldn't mind getting to 275 athletics and then maybe retreating and then calling for an army and then coming back in. That could potentially be a nice strategy for us here. We have already eliminated a significant number of enemy forces, though, which is very surprising in itself. Okay, yes. We do actually seem to be doing very nicely here. And is it because they don't have any archers? I feel like they don't have any archers. I feel like they're mostly cavalry, infantry, and so on and so forth in the garrison here, just at the bottleneck, not really doing too much at all. Very, very surprising. One thing that we should probably do, though, is there is a strategy that I do know about this strategy, but it's always something that I never remember to do. And a strategy mentioned by one of you in the comments, which is basically just hold position behind the enemy's lines. We've done that before, and we've seen how effective it can be, especially in Warband. In Warband, we would do that quite often, but in Bannerlord, we don't really do it that much. So we're going to try it out because, let's face it, it's been a while since we've done something like this, and we're just going to move around the opponent. Just going to move around them as best as we can here. Obviously, I don't really want to get myself killed because I am actually capable of some pretty hefty kills here, so it would be nice if we could maintain that as best as possible. Nice, nice, nice. And as you can see, look at that. We broke the bottleneck extremely easily. Look at that. That was very, very nice. So it just goes to show we should definitely use that strategy more often. You know, as I said, we have used it many, many times in Warband specifically because the AI there is, well, they're fine, but they do tend to get stuck. You know, in bottlenecks, bottleneck type situations. And funnily enough, it feels like Bannerlord, you know, kind of has that problem as well in certain places. In certain fiefs, they do say that they have some issues with that. But yeah, otherwise, we should be completely fine here. I should probably tell my forces to charge in now. I think we can probably do that. Yeah, I think they're probably going to be absolutely fine with doing that. So let's actually tell them to charge. And just go full on, try to murder as many people as possible here. And I mean, look at how many we've killed already. We've killed 250 enemies. This does look as though this is going to be a victory, but the funny thing is, there's still a significant amount. We've got over, you know, 2/3 of them left to fight. So not very good with that, especially considering we could still see loads of very, very high tier troops coming in. So we do have to be a bit careful on that. Let's try to eliminate this archer if possible and get him out of the way, sir. Okay, what is he doing? You see that? How dare you? How dare he do such a thing to us? Yeah, but we should be absolutely fine, as you can see. And we do appear to actually be surviving as well, if you can believe that. Because I certainly can't. I'm one of those people that generally tends to die in a lot of these situations just because I refuse to, you know, hide at the back of the battlefield and stuff like that. I like to have fun. I like to get stuck in when it comes to battlefield type situations and difficult sieges like this. I feel like that is just so enjoyable. You know, generally fighting against the odds is really, really enjoyable. Funnily enough, I don't feel like I'm fighting against the odds right now. I do feel as though this is maybe this is a numbers game more than anything, because you can see here the enemy has literally lost so many people. I think it's because they mostly have recruits. Look at this. I mean, I am literally swinging at someone and it is a literal recruit. I'm assuming that that is the main issue with their garrison here, but that just goes to show that maybe I don't have to be so afraid of the garrisons, because I haven't really taken a super close look at the composition of any of these places that we've gone to so far. I've just had a quick look and I've been like, oh yeah, they have quite a few King's Knights and they've got a few of those guys and the other fellows and so on and so forth, and they always seem, you know, relatively strong. But in this case, clearly they are not. Clearly they are very simple for us to eliminate. Funnily enough though, they could be a lot better. If they had spawned their archers in to begin with, I think we probably would have had a much harder time. It would have been very, very difficult to penetrate them. They would have been... They would have basically just been absolutely impossible. I mean, obviously, if they let us in, then that's obviously fine. Because we obviously, you know, need them to open up. But, you know, like, for example, just like opening up this right here. You know, and then we could just split them down the middle right away. Just split them in two right there with our massive sword. Well, technically, it's not that massive, unfortunately, as you can see right there. It is an elf sword, so, you know, you can't really expect it to be, you know, super stonking big and thick. You know, like a nice axe that we have right here. Even though this axe technically is actually a base game weapon, as far as I'm aware. I'm not actually using an Uruk specialized weapon at the moment. These guys have really, really nice weapons, actually. You know, look at the modeling on these. I actually really like the style. Of course, it has a big look of Uruk stamped all over it. You know what I mean? It's got that really, really nice Uruk look to it. Anyway, I think we're basically done here, but we, for some reason, have someone up there that is apparently surviving. And there it is. Look at how much renown we just gained. We gained 241 renown and 180 influence. Obviously, the influence isn't really that necessary, but we did get 100 kills. Look at that. Bear Uruk literally made 100 kills. I am just as surprised as you are. And we did finally get to clan tier 5, which is going to be even better. You know why that's going to be even better? Because now we have noble retinues kicking in. Noble retinues is going to kick in. That's going to increase our party size by another 40. Or is it 50? I think it's 40. And we're also going to obviously gain party size, probably 15 additional party size. So we're going to be getting 55 additional party size just from this one level up, which is amazing. We're also going to be spending 16,000 in cash to level up our troops. 54,000 experience is available to donate, potentially, to our forces here. And I think we may, in fact, want to do that. Let's just take the horses. And no food, really? No food? Wow, okay, that's actually very, very surprising. Okay, we'll donate everything. Why not? We'll donate everything, and we'll make sure that our forces are leveled up very nicely indeed. And we'll show mercy here once again. Wow, I'm actually very surprised that that was actually easier than the other place that we besieged in the previous episode. I was really taken aback by how difficult that actually was, or that turned out to be. But this one was very, very simple. So we're going to now be taking Make a Difference. Make a Difference is just generally for your own battle morale to troops when you kill enemies in battle. Obviously, you know, you don't have to take this if you feel like you're not going to get many kills or whatever. But we are getting quite a few kills, and generally it's a nice thing to go for because it does scale quite well with your own performance. On the other hand, if you feel like you're not going to be doing that much damage to enemy units and you're just going to be kind of staying at the back, playing a bit more of a commander role, you can do that if you want to, obviously, then Great Leader is probably the way to go. But I'm going to go with Make a Difference here. We do get a little bit of extra experience for archers as well, which is probably not even going to make any difference whatsoever. I'm not really using archers that much. And we also have Horde Leader here, which is part of the tactics tree, which I personally think is extremely underrated, not because of the army cohesion loss or anything like that, but just because you get 10 party size for 75 in tactics. 75 in tactics is very, very easy to get. At least, you know, it's early on in the game. Of course, it's going to be very easy to get. And so 10 party size for that, yeah, in my opinion, that's really, really good. Anyway, let's just wait here for some time. Actually, no, let's not wait here for some time. Let's actually sell some prisoners. And who's this? Aha, hello. You are a steward and a trader, and she's from the Dunlendings. We could potentially make her into a governor if we wanted to. But the question is, do we need a governor? I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think we really need a governor. I think we really need an engineer if we can do that. Oh, loads of... Oh, look at this. Look at how much... wow, yeah, they have so much food. It's actually bonkers. Okay, so there we go. That's very, very nice. Let's just sell all this. We are now having way too much in the way of stuff. Yes, we have way too much stuff. And we're going to be getting rid of all this horse armor, as you can see here. Look at how heavy this stuff is. It's actually crazy how heavy it is. Okay, so that's all done. And the question is, do we want to get rid of anything else? Well, I have loads of fish, actually. I have way too much. So let's actually just get rid of a little bit of it. And there we have it. All right, did I already put things in here? Yes, I did. Okay, so that's fantastic. So we're going to be giving this to Faldor, I guess, or one of those guys. And they're obviously going to take care of it. Let's see. Okay, what else is happening here? So ROHAN is looking extremely unhealthy right now. And it feels to me like they are probably done. I'm not sure where their army is or what their army is even doing. As you can see, this particular fief is not even owned by them. It's owned by Gondor for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. And then we also have... do we have anything happening here? It feels to me like the Mouth of Sauron hasn't really expanded that much, which is kind of weird. I would have expected him to go very, very quickly into deeper Gondorian territory. But that doesn't seem to be the case. I love this, by the way. This is fantastic. I really, really enjoy little things like this that allow you to traverse the environment in a different way. And I think I can... Can I get through here to this town from this location? I don't think so, right? Is that true? I'm actually just going to check real quick because I am kind of wanting to launch an attack through there, but I would highly, highly doubt it. I mean, it very much depends, I guess, but let's actually just see. Okay, so this guy's owning this guy's owning this. Okay, yeah, so let's give this to Faldor. Obviously, Wolgun has loads and loads of people, and I don't know. I'm not sure who's going to really be the better leader here or the better person that will take, you know, take control of these towns. But yeah, anyway, let's actually have a look and see what happens. So if I select this, will I turn around? That's the question. Okay, I'm selecting it. I am going forward still. Okay. Oh, that means good things. That means good things for sure. Yeah, no. As you can see, you can actually go this way around here. Oh, that is so cool. Yes, I love that. Very, very nice. I very much appreciate that, because technically, you know, as the modding team, you don't have to do these kinds of things, but they are, man, they make so much of a difference, really do. This is so enjoyable to be able to come over here and immediately attack this town. Yeah, this is just great. This is just absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be doing this. Let's get a little bit of a, you know, different slant on things, a different perspective. Because, of course, we have only 9 days. Look at that, 9 days worth of food here. And I can also destroy the walls relatively, well, probably not very quickly, but we can definitely destroy the walls quite nicely. I'm surprised that my athletics skill is still just snoozing along. I don't know why it's taking so long to level it up, but there you go. Anyway, we'll level up a bunch more people. Our leadership skills, you know, creeping up there quite nicely too. And hopefully we'll be able to starve out the garrison. You can see here that they have loads of Blackroot Vale Hunters. Now, Blackroot Vale Hunters, as far as I'm aware, they're not actually very good. They're kind of low level, I believe. Let me actually just have a look. Yeah. As you can see, they are the lowest level of archer, so we don't really need to worry about them at all. But they do have 82 of them. I don't know how effective that's really going to be, but a lot of the other guys are probably going to be quite... well, I do see a couple of people there that will be somewhat difficult to deal with, but most should fall before us. Like wheat before a scythe, maybe? Alright, so I'm actually going to say something right now. I gotta say, I feel like this is amazing. This particular fief is probably one of the most dangerous fiefs I've seen so far in regards to siege warfare. Despite us being able to overpower them now, they actually destroyed every single one of my trebuchets on the first round. So in other words, I have already constructed 4 of these previously, but they are so good at destroying enemy siege equipment. As you can see, look at the amount of troops that I have. I had 330, didn't I? Yeah, I think I had 330 or something like that. And I've now lost a significant amount just purely because of siege bombardment casualties, of course. And the fact that the opponent is able to do so much damage. Look at that. They're getting really, really lucky here with a lot of these hits are just coming in, doing massive damage, eliminating our trebuchets, causing siege bombardment casualties. You can see here that we now have 313. The enemy has 313, which is actually kind of hilarious. I'm not sure how that even worked out like that, but yeah, we're now very, very close to being able to eliminate them, hopefully. There we go. Let's destroy that catapult. Come on, kill the there we go. Okay, we actually killed the catapult. That's very, very nice. Let's just wait until daytime a little bit, and then we will make our way in. Basically exactly the same amounts of troops that we have in here, and well, the walls are now down. They're starved out. We have everything in our favor. And also, Gondor's armies, where are they? Where are they? They're nowhere. They're nowhere to be seen because they are obviously so far away. That's one of the strategies that we like to use, one of the strategies that I personally like to use, where we just attack an extremely far away fief. It takes the army so long to get there that they are never going to be able to, or at the very least, if they do try to, it's going to waste their time. It's going to allow our allies to do even more. And you know what? I'm actually going to say it right now. I'm not entirely sure how it would be for Gondorians, or shall we say how it would be for you as the player to side with Gondor, because it feels extremely, I would say, it feels very, very difficult to face that many troops. I would assume that what you're going to need to do in terms of strategy is you're going to need to wage a lot of minor skirmishes against a lot of Uruk vassals, a lot of Mordor vassals, a lot of Isengard vassals. Get them captured. Try to either you want to obviously you want to execute them. Either you want to execute them, or you want to get what is it now? Keen Sight, the Keen Sight perk, and the Mounted Patrols perks. You want both of those. Because then you're going to be able to capture them and infinitely hold them in your army if you want to do that, obviously. You know, that's basically one of the ways that you can do it without executing people. Because I know that some people don't really like executions when you're playing a good-based character, which, yeah, actually, that is pretty true. You know, that is pretty true. Generally, playing a good aligned character, it doesn't really make so much sense, I guess, that they would execute. But the funny thing is, I think they would, to be honest. I mean, if you think about it, Lord of the Rings, right? You think about Lord of the Rings, you think about Uruks. I mean, I personally don't think that these guys that are fighting basically for their lives, I don't think Gondor is going to be like, oh, please, Lurtz, commander of the Uruks, please, you know, we do not want to kill you, or anything like that. It doesn't make much sense to me, to be honest, for them to let him go, to be honest, or you know, even to imprison him at this point, because what's the point? You know, it's not really going to do much, and you know, we've got to remember that this is basically, you know, actual war, you know, like actual war as in very ye olde style, as in these enemies are never going to stop wishing for your destruction, you know, in the case of the Uruks, of course. They are never ever going to stop. They're never going to be like, oh yes, so we've learned to change our ways, and we've learned how wonderful humans are. No, that's just never going to happen. So, you know, generally, I do think that executions will suit good aligned characters, because there's a point where good aligned characters have to do something in this case, because otherwise that's just silly. That's just silly, you know, because, I mean, just think about it, you know, as I said, you know, if they let every single one of these Uruks live, you know, that doesn't really make much sense to me. It's kind of the same thing with being like, oh no, I cannot possibly strike Sauron down. Imagine someone does that, you know. He can still learn the error of his ways. That would be very funny, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay. Anyway, point is, I do think it would make sense from a, shall we say, motivation perspective, you know, because generally you're always going to be thinking to yourself, oh yeah, well, they may be good aligned characters, but they are thwarting evil, if you know what I mean. And they're not really, shall we say, doing evil by killing evil, if you know what I mean, you know, because that's what they're doing, you see, that's what they're doing. And generally I feel like that is, it's a pretty interesting discussion just in general from a what is the term I'm looking for here? Moral standpoint? Is it moral? I guess so. Anyway, the point is it evil if you execute or kill an evil being that only wishes for your destruction? I'm not sure. Probably not. I would say not. You know, I personally wouldn't think so. But, you know, there are some people that may think that a good aligned character should remain, you know, pure in that sense. And you should, you know, the good aligned character should not participate in executions or anything like that. And, well, I guess that depends. I guess that depends on what kind of universe you're living in, and what you're referencing, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, we are good. Look at this. We took this, and I actually really like seeing the Gondor units for once, because we've seen a lot of green cloaks. That's all I can say. We've seen a lot of green cloaks, and then it's very nice to see something a little bit different, and we get the opportunity to have some fun with these very shiny armored fellows. And there it is. There's the victory for us. Look at that. Wow. We literally did so much damage that, wow, they did. Wow. Okay. 143 renown for that too. 120 influence. Obviously, I'm running around with a very significant deficit in our army capacity now, which is really bad. But there's not much for me to do about that right now. As you can see, look at this. We can now field 466 troops. Just purely because of the additional, you know, noble retinues thing. That's really making a big difference. And also, obviously, if you think about it, we are having a Mordor party size bonus. There you go. So that obviously is also coming into it. So apparently the modding team have done something with Mordor itself, maybe with Isengard as well, that makes them much better when it comes to fielding large numbers of troops. I really appreciate that, actually, because let's face it, you kind of need a lot of troops, at least until you start leveling up these guys significantly, because obviously level ups are going to take quite some time initially, and you know, maybe you just want to have units that can outnumber the opponent dramatically, and that's all you really want in the early game. Okay, so wait a second. We have a bit of a situation on our hands. I have an execution to do here, but I also have a bunch of people that I want to sell, so I'm going to be selling those guys, and we're going to be executing as well. And this is what we currently have on our hands. So you can see here, Eol's Watch is currently under siege. That is definitely going to be taken by Isengard very soon. Not soon, but soon. And Grimslade, as you can see right here, has a significant amount of people, and it's probably going to be, I would say, maybe the hardest for us to take, if I have to go back there and take it myself. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.